There you have it, everybody. Right there is the YouTube Creator Summit 2018 sign. We've had a pretty amazing event. Right now is the last day. It happened between August 21st and August 24th. It's now Friday. Hey, as Jim says, yeah, basically you have, we are here and we've started. This is a live stream. This is Only Japan Go channel. Everything's live on this channel. And I wanted to sit down and report to you what I've been doing here for the last few days, some of the things that I took away from this event, some of the things that you might have on your mind, some of the questions that you've asked, and see if we can kind of come up with a better way we could do things, maybe improve the channel, make things better, make the experience better for both of us, which I think is beneficial as YouTube as a platform continues to mature and evolve, and it is always evolving. I actually got one of these massive croissants. Apparently this croissant is kind of famous. It's a place that's in San Francisco, not too far away from where the YouTube headquarters are, so everybody seems to know, but it's just massive compared to the croissants that I get in Japan, and of course a cup of coffee. They have like just take stuff. It's actually kind of crazy. And before we get into this live stream, maybe I'll show you like outside the window and some of the stuff here at the YouTube Creators event. This is downtown Seoul. This is an area called Hongdae. And it's a pretty buzzing, hopping place. This is from the hotel window outside. Well, once I leave here, I don't have Wi-Fi, so I can't take you outside. But they have this cafe inside here. You get like two free coffees and 2 free croissants a day. I only need one because it's so big. And then there's like lots of stuff I want to show you really quickly if I can. Like all this is local products here from Korea. It's kind of really cool. Oh look, oh no, it's gone. But for the last couple of days I have been like just taking this stuff, and people who are part of the event can just take it. It's been pretty cool. Oh no, it's like a lot of it's gone. They even put a little smiley sad face on there. Oh, this isn't here. So these are some Seoul snacks. These are in the rooms as well. So some really unique stuff. And when I get back to Japan, I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I got from here. But just to put it all in perspective, this event has been pretty cool. And hey Henry, yeah, it's all gone. It's all gone, but I'm here. I hope that's good enough for all you guys. So while I eat my croissant and put my camera here, I might also take you around, and who knows, maybe another YouTuber is gonna stop by and say hi. This is the Creator Summit. On here in reverse are a bunch of names. Here you go. There we are up here on the top, which is pretty cool. And a lot of these other YouTubers are here, and I've gotten a chance to talk with them, and we've been exchanging ideas and seeing what more we can do. A lot of really amazing people here. And of course, the people that I know the most are Simon and Martina, who are here from Japan, which is cool. There are some Japanese YouTubers, but for the J-vlogging community, it's just me and them. And yeah, I guess you could say that I've been hanging out with them because we just kind of are neighbors, so it works out that way. Each country that was represented here, and I believe, I might get this wrong, but I know that there's India, there are Vietnam, Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia. I made a lot of friends from Indonesia because I was there for a honeymoon in Bali, and we have a lot of Indonesian viewers, a ton of creators from Korea, and a lot of Japanese YouTubers. Yuka Kinoshita was here, and she can eat a lot, and she's somebody who I watch on Japanese YouTube. Not many other people, believe it or not. Just pretty much Yuka Kinoshita. Interesting. But yeah, it was just cool to meet all these people. There's the Korean Englishmen, the duo here that makes videos in English about Korea, but also they can speak Korean fluently, so it's kind of like what I do in a way, sort of. But they've got their own unique way to do things, and that's the one thing that I learned about this. Everybody has their own unique way of doing stuff here, and that's, to me, that's one of the most valuable things of coming to this kind of event. And when they invited me a couple of months ago, I was like, yeah, because in Japan, I only meet creators that are in Japan, like in this world. And it's only when you travel do you get to start to talk with a lot of other creators from that are doing things in different ways. Yes, you can turn on YouTube and see what they're doing, but I always want to hear the stories behind it. I got tons of questions like, what cameras do you use? When do you stream? When do you upload? Where do you get your inspiration from? How do you edit? What is your workflow like? How do you spend your days? Do you spend your days? Do you send your work to be edited to an editor outside, or do you do the editing yourself? Like, how do you monetize? How do you make a career out of YouTube? How do you sustain a career in YouTube? There's so many different questions that I had, and many of them, believe it or not, were answered. I got a lot of answers to these questions. I didn't get a lot of answers to technical questions, though. A lot of my questions had to do specifically with mobile live streaming, and they touched on it in the event, but I think a lot of the people who were going back to California, I can't find them, or I can't get like time to discuss the things that I want to discuss. Like, why is everything reversed on the iOS for you guys watching? Everything's reversed on this camera, but it wasn't always like that. And why can I only use one microphone and not two microphones? And why are the videos that I upload in some kind of queue in my YouTube page that if I delete one, I delete them all? This is something Peter had with his live streams. So I have a ton of bug questions that never get fixed. So I didn't get any answers to that yet, but follow-up is just as important as the event. One of the things that I took away from this, and I kind of made some notes here, is that apart from meeting a lot of the creators, which I think was just really incredible, especially the creators from India. India is an emerging market that didn't really start to emerge until I got all this information from YouTube, actually, from YouTube India. YouTube in India didn't really start to take off until one of the mobile phone companies in India started to give free bandwidth. Hey, Gretchen. Started to give free bandwidth, like on the phones, so people could watch YouTube freely, more. And they didn't have that available before that. So now people were kind of moving away from TV and discovering YouTube for the first time, and that just happened last year. So the amount of Indian YouTubers that are starting to get like 1 million subscribers is starting to explode right now. So YouTube is just like, it seems like it's just a year old. It's been around, but it's just like a year old in India. It's only starting to really like explode, and I'm getting excited because I'm planning a trip to go to India to meet up with viewers and to film and edit at the end of November and the beginning of December, and it's gonna be really cool to see how YouTube in India has evolved from a few years ago, the last time I was in India, to now. And I got a lot of this information from the other YouTubers that are in India, which is great. So hopefully I'll get a chance to meet them. But apart from the creators, it's awesome to meet the YouTube staff. And this is huge. You get to meet the decision makers, the people who have a say in how the YouTube works for all of us. And being able to ask them questions, to listen directly from them, is something very valuable to me as a YouTuber, as somebody who provides content on this platform, to get a chance to understand what we have right now, because I don't think a lot of YouTubers actually know all the tools that we have right now at our disposal, and what is coming down the line, and how we can use that to help us make better shows, to help us monetize, to help get more information to you, to help make these streams or these programs or these whatever you do with YouTube more valuable to you and our community. So I was able to do that, and I didn't get a chance to speak to a lot of executives. There are a couple that I'm going to follow up with. Everybody was really nice, and the one thing that was I think you can get a sense of this in the first stream I did about 48 hours ago when I first arrived here in Seoul. It's like I came into the room and there was a massive poster of me. It was kind of creeped me out, actually, but it was there. And throughout the entire summit, what I took away was, like, to the YouTube staff, we're very important to them, because without us, they don't have YouTube. Even though there's like, I guess, millions and millions of people on this platform providing content, they don't, if those people were to leave, then they don't have a YouTube anymore. And in the back of my mind, I've always been like thinking, is YouTube going to be here forever? Like, if you make a career out of YouTube, this is for all of you young people, if you do make a career out of YouTube, is YouTube going to be here in 10 years, in 15 years? The answer is, I don't know. If it is it going to be different? The answer is definitely. And I have to ask these questions, and I got a sense that YouTube is setting up, because they care about the creators, especially the ones that are here. Most of the people here, I gotta be honest with you, they have over 1 million subscribers on their YouTube channels. Like, actually the vast majority. I've met YouTubers that had 10 million subscribers. It's pretty crazy. And I don't know any of them, because there's just too many channels out there. You can't watch everybody's channel, all right? I mean, there's too many channels. These are just some of the top creators in the Asia Pacific region here in this area, who are here in Korea. It's not American YouTubers. It's not European YouTubers. These are just some of the top ones. It's like there's no time in my 24-hour time being, in a day, to watch all of these people's channels, because it's just impossible. So that's why I'm so appreciative of you having found my channel and being very interested in Japan and what I do, that you watch. To me, that's really valuable. So that's why I kind of want to make sure that you have a better experience. It's like air conditioner dripping on me. You can have a better experience watching YouTube with my channel, because content is king, as chicken on biscuits right in here, and providing really good stuff for you is absolutely critical, because if I lose you guys as subscribers and as viewers, then I don't have anything. So YouTube has to answer to us, the creators, and we creators have to answer to you. So that's why I have to answer to you guys. All right, some of the questions that you've had, the technical questions, I really didn't get a lot of answers on. Like, for example, the super chats. It'll be in Singapore when the super chats get into Singapore, but I know that they're working on every single country. Yeah. So there's YouTubers from India right there. Yeah. So that's gonna be something that I definitely can tell you. I would love to see super chats from all over the world. I love super chats. I saw Gretchen gave me a super chat before too, just to say hi, and it makes me feel really happy, and it makes me really appreciate you as an audience. To see the feed go like this, and also to see the nice little pretty colors, and also to know that Gretchen is watching. When Gretchen did that, I know that Jim is watching because he's a moderator, and Gretchen's watching, and now I see in the feed, I see Dawn, and Ikari, and Somi, and Rick, and Akash, and Percy, and Nads, and Mindless Marty's back again. Hey, Chicken on Biscuits. I see you guys are here, so that means a lot to me. I don't have answers to the super chats, but I know that I bet you over the next 6 months, Singapore and all the other countries are going to be included in the super chats. And Ellis, I see Ellis is here. Super chats are fun. Yes, I love them. I also have to tell you that a question that I got quite often was, how much does YouTube take out of the super chats? And I don't want you guys to get freaked out by it, but I think I'd already mentioned a couple times, they take 40% out of everything. Like, it's like Apple does it and YouTube does it too. So where's the best place to support me? There's no one place, but if you do give a super chat, I guarantee you that I'm going to use it. So I just want to say thank you for that. It does make up about 30. Carlos, hi Carlos, how you doing? See what I mean? Super chats makes up between 30 and 40% of the income of this channel. All right, and I do put ads in these in the playbacks. After a few hours, I'll add in ads, but it's to keep the bandwidth and the streaming. It's to keep it up and make it a reason to do it every day. And the super chats makes up 30 to 40% of the income. And if I were to lose the super chats, then I would lose 30 to 40% of the income off of this channel. And if you want to make this a career, there's a business side to YouTube. Every YouTuber has to find a way to make a living out of this and to make a sustainable living. That's the other thing that I learned from this. A lot of these creators have been creating they haven't been creating longer than me, but a lot of them have been YouTubers longer than me, and a lot of them have come from backgrounds that are completely different. What I do is completely different from what like almost everybody else does. Some of these people do video games. Some of these people do cosmetics. Some of these people do education. They'll teach English. They'll teach English to Taiwan. Like Ray Du, who I met, who had a really interesting channel. I think he's got like 3.8 million subscribers. It's like just the amount of people watching some of these channels. Yeah, here's Ray Du English. It's backwards. I talked to him for a while. Amazingly nice guy. And yeah, like over 3 million subscribers, I believe, on his channel. I can't remember. It was just a lot. And I'm not intimidated by people who are much more successful, but when you see that people are more successful than you, you have to learn from them and understand what made them so successful. What are they doing that I'm not doing? What can I do that's better to hit 1 million subscribers? To me, I don't look at the subscriber numbers that much, and Jim can tell you that because Jim is the one who tells me, and he's the moderator. Jim is the one who tells me when I hit a milestone. So I have to say really thank you to Jim for that. But yeah, to Otaku, thank you very much, Nita. I should add more to Patreon instead of here. Would you keep more of it there? That's the other thing. So we have a very great Patreon community. There's 470 members in Patreon that are contributing almost $5,000 on Patreon, which is incredible. And that number has been going up every month. And the cut that they take is, yeah, about 10%. And with Super Chats, it's about 30%. It's very clear, but should you support one more than the other? I don't think so. I think it's like this, okay? When you give a Super Chat, I think there's a specific reason to do it. It's how you feel right now, and it's getting my attention and showing this kind of energy. Because when you get a Super Chat, I gotta be honest with you, I get a lot of energy out of it. When I see the different colors popping up, it feels pretty cool. So it's that. I get a lot of, yeah, look at this, Nads McGee. Like, I just like, boom, I can see right to the screen. I support you and not the ads. You can use it to see AQ48. All right, thank you, Nads McGee. But that's the thing. I think in the moment, there's a feeling that we get when that support, this is a different kind of support, the Super Chats. And it is pretty fun. And the Super Chat support is fun for everybody else in the stream. Because it stays up there when you're watching on a desktop, and you can see who gave what, and you can see what they asked and what they gave. And it's sort of, I don't know, like almost like, it just makes it more fun. Let's just keep it simple. It makes it more fun. So I can't say to support one or the other, but I do respect on Patreon. It's a more sustainable support, and Super Chat is like right now. Like, I will eat this croissant. Because, actually, don't give me a Super Chat for the croissant because it was free. We get free croissants here. But in all plainness here, it's Super Chats is 30 to 40% of this channel's income. Seriously, you guys support this channel big time, all right? And the ads are only in there just because it's like to fill in the gaps, or else because the ads are actually 40 to 50% of that income. And that other 5%, I really don't know where that money comes from. I guess, it's probably YouTube Red. Yeah, probably YouTube Red, people who watch on YouTube Red, which is ad-free. So, there's that. Alright, Kevin, I believe it was Kevin Kwan. Oh, well, look at this, Gretchen's got a big smile. Oh, by the way, Gretchen just ordered food. Gretchen, make sure you order healthy food, okay? No more, what are those, fried onion things? Don't order those that your nurse has been telling us. Healthy food, okay? Healthy food. And, Shubham Das Gupta, hey, that's my first Super Chat. Whoa, 100 rupees, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Actually, we have some, I saw it was rupees, right? So we got some Indian YouTubers back there. Some of them are really, really big. Hold on. Yeah, you might actually recognize some of them. Here, I'll turn the camera on for a second. So you can see there's some events that are taking place, and they have buses that are taking some of the summit goers. Is that what you call them? Some summit goers to cooking classes and things like this. And we have YouTubers from all over the world here. Well, Asia, sort of the world. It's the world that I live in. If I see one of my friends going by, I'm gonna stop and bring them over here just to say hi. Okay, Eric, you got the postcard today. Awesome, good. I'm actually working on the next one, and if you go to Patreon, you can see what next month's postcard's gonna be. And it's gonna be the ice cream one from, I think we had 6.6, like almost 7 million views on that ice cream video. Way more than I ever thought would ever watch that when I made it. I think I would have spent more time on it if I knew there'd been 7 million people watching that episode, but. Everybody here has sort of said the same thing, What did I take away from this? All right. There's this movie called Crazy Rich Asians. I don't know a lot about it, okay? But the writer of the book, Kwan, was here, and he gave a talk about Crazy Rich Asians, about how he wrote the book, and the process of getting the book to the movie, and some of his thoughts on like the movie, because he's promoting it, and I guess he's here in Korea to promote the movie. This movie is going to be pretty big, I think. It's a complete all Asian cast, and he asked, all right, I'm going to give you some feedback here. 2 things that he said that I took away that made a huge impact on me. One of them, he said, the advice that he gave to everybody was, don't be afraid to fly your freak flag. I had to think about that for a second, like, don't be afraid to admit that you're a freak or that you're different about certain things. Don't be afraid to show that when you write. Don't be afraid to show who you are when you make a YouTube video. Don't be afraid to show your personality and let it come through when you're in front of a camera and you're writing a book or you're doing anything with the media or you're expressing yourself. And I thought that was pretty cool that he said that, But the way he said it was funny, right? Don't be afraid to fly your freak flag. Freak flag. I thought that was pretty good. I get a big smile out of it. And the other thing he said was, I think it was the Korean Englishman asked a question. He said he had seen that Netflix had asked him about doing the series and offered him a ridiculous amount of money to make his book into a Netflix series, and he turned it down to do a Hollywood movie. And his response was so good. Because I live here in Asia too. I'm American, but I'm half Asian. And he said that this was he turned on Netflix to make this is kind of news. He turned on Netflix to make it in a Hollywood movie for less money, because in Hollywood, this is the first movie that has an all Asian A-list cast. Usually there was like somebody who wasn't Asian in it as a lead, right? Everybody in the lead is Asian, and this was kind of a breakthrough, and he wanted to make a statement. I believe this was a way to make a statement and to prove that Asians could do it in Hollywood, I guess. And that's what I took away from what he said today, and that's so bold. That's so bold, And now he took less money to make it a Hollywood movie. And he turned it over to a director, and the director had his vision. It's not exactly what I think. Well, whenever you take a book and you boil it down to an hour and 45 minutes, it never goes exactly the way that the book goes. But he seemed to be really, really happy with the final production, and it's a reason to read the book and also see the movie. But I was so like excited to see him here and promoting the movie Crazy Rich Asians. Because I saw the flags all over Singapore when I was there with Kanai a couple weeks ago. Ram Cillian, Super Chats were fun, but I'm going instead. Okay. We have smoke in Vancouver, so I can see in the Super Chats there's a lot of stuff going on all around the world. There's some fires going on. So I'm here in Seoul. We actually have a typhoon that's coming this way. And I've been receiving in Korean warnings about the typhoon like every 30 minutes, and my phone will ring. Even though I'm not roaming, I'll get an update about a typhoon that's coming towards Seoul, Korea. And I haven't checked the news, I'll be honest with you. I've been literally talking with people, networking and in meetings this whole time. And after after 8 p.m. the meetings are more like the kind where you kind of go out and drink. But I digress. Other things that I learned. There's going to be new ways to monetize YouTube channels, and I think that there's something called memberships, or ways that you can quote-unquote sponsor, but I think membership might be a better word. And Simon and Martina, who are here, were the first YouTubers, I believe, to have that ability to have sponsorships. And I think it's about $5 you have to pay per month, and you get benefits like videos behind the scenes, and you get emojis. So when you type and you chats in live streams, you can use their designed emojis. And there's things like stickers, and it's gonna be really cool. But this membership thing isn't to everybody, and it's starting to roll out. And before you, I think I have it actually for the main channel. It seemed to be. I think it seems like you need 100,000 subscribers to activate the membership right now. But of course, it starts to roll out to everybody slowly. But I think before you do that, I have to think about how that impacts Patreon and how the what I can do to offer value to members. This is the toughest thing for people who are starting Patreon. You can't just start Patreon and say, okay, everybody, just give me money. It doesn't work like that. My patrons are in a community where I know I can connect with them by if they give a certain amount, I can do more for them. Like the $100 daimyo level, I can send them packages, as well as send them a postcard, as well as give them more access, or as well as send more messages and have a closer relationship with them for that kind of money. For that kind of support. And then the people who are in the postcard club receive a postcard, and they also receive the question and answers and the ability to call in and chat and live stream, just like the samurai who are paying the $5. So you have to give back and make it valuable, or at least like give to the community something for their support back. And I think with YouTube's membership program, it's unique, and I don't know if it's a competitor or an add-on yet. I think some of the creators that were using it were afraid that people would leave if you were saying, okay, if you pay this, then you get certain access off of something that was ordinarily free. When you watch a YouTube video, there are ads, and if you don't want to watch the ads, you can do YouTube Red, and you'd have a choice, right? And there's also now a membership, and now that means more money. I don't know, but I can tell you this, okay? When somebody produces a TV show, the budgets are massive, like huge amounts of money, and these all come from sponsors. YouTube comes from you, all right? Except for these ads that are in the videos, YouTube comes from you. And so when there's a creator or somebody that you like, that you want to support, I think that's why you see on Patreon the support coming there for Only in Japan. And that money is used in things that I show you, like trips to tropical islands, or trips to far off locations, or hiring cameramen, or staying in hotels when I would stay in a tent, or a youth hostel. I can stay in like a bigger room with more electrical outlets that can charge all of my stuff, like my drone. This was kind of big when I did travel in the past. Okay, so a lot of the creators behind me, some of them you might recognize depending on how clear the screen is. Like seriously, if we got 360p, you probably can't make them out. There you go. So there's some YouTubers. They're making their way out. So they have shuttle buses that'll take people to a cooking class, and to make, I think you can make your own iPhone case, and it's kind of neat that they're doing that. Just like giving free croissants. I'm staying here for the croissants. And then to be able to take some stuff made locally here in Korea. I got a pair of sunglasses like this. I left them in the room, but yeah, I'll show them to you later. They're pretty freaky. I guess it's like my night. I guess these are my new night sunglasses. But yeah, these are some of the things that I got to take away from it. Monetization, and let me see here. a lot of the YouTube. Oh, is it in 720p? I'm seeing this now from the Hawaiian neck. Thank you. Now, a lot of the. Hold on a second. Okay, I just got a report in here. Sorry. A lot of the YouTubers that have over 1 million or 2 million subscribers, they've been, in order to manage everything, they give the editing to somebody else. I thought this was really interesting. I know more and more of the YouTubers that I talk to. Sorry, I'm gonna have a sip of coffee. More and more of the YouTubers that I talk to are starting to give editing to a third party to edit the videos so that they can spend more time making and creating. The only way for me to get more shows on Only in Japan main channel would be to do something like this. To get like a cameraman that's designated to film me instead of me doing it myself all the time. And then to have somebody to edit the work, or at least edit 80% of it, and then I would do the final edits or something like this. Then I would be able to do 3 and maybe even once a week on the main channel. That would be an ideal situation. And talking to a lot of the YouTubers that are really successful. I mean, like between 1 and 10 million subscribers, and a lot of the people here have 1 to 10 million subscribers. I think I'm like low on the range of people with subscribers here, but that's okay because it's not about that. We have our community is awesome, so hey, it's not about that. But with that said, a lot of them have to free up time to do other things to make a career out of this, and I was really kind of surprised. Because the people that I talk to aren't at such a level. A lot of people have editors do the work, not do most of the work for them, or if not all of them. One of them has even a creative advisor who helps them with the creative process. And this is it was extraordinary to me because I can't imagine anybody else having the creative ideas for what I do. Everything comes from me. Yeah, right. Sunit Sharma writes in here, a one-man army. For the last 5 years, I've been a one-man army. I really have. That's why I'm wearing concealer makeup. You can't see. I was up really late. You can't see that I'm up editing really late almost every day. And that takes a lot out of me. But I do it because my personality is in the editing of the videos. It's hard for me to turn over control like that to somebody else. But in order to be successful, you have to turn over some of the editing process to somebody if you want to grow something. So if you have a business and everything is just into one sphere, let's just say, how do you expand out of that? You can make it bigger, but I only have 24 hours out of the day. It's really hard to do that. And to hear from a lot of other people who are finding a way to stretch the 24 hours allows me to do more, bring you more of the quality of programming that you want, not just vlogs, not stuff like this, not live streaming, but on the main channel and maybe on another channel with food or something like this. I think if I were to invest in the show more, I think we would all get more out of it. And so I'm trying to find ways to stretch the 24 hours that I have every day. Patreon is allowing me to do that. Patreon is allowing me to do a lot of stuff that I couldn't do because I turned down a lot of side jobs now just to focus on this, Only in Japan. The super chats do a lot of good to keep me going. Actually, the super chats pays. I'll be honest with you, the super chats and the Only in Japan Go pays for my rent and my living costs. Honestly, since I started the Only in Japan Go channel, it has provided for me my rent and the food and the ability to take Kanai, my wife, on dates. That's what the support does. Essentially, that's exactly what it does. It's enough money to do that, and it's extremely valuable, which is why this channel is a great way for me to connect with you, but it's also something that I use to support what I'm doing with everything else in my life. So the other thing that I learned from this is to not just be yourself and let your freak flag fly, but also be transparent and just tell people, I'm back from Simon and Martina's channel. Hey Carlos, yeah, I think they're doing a live stream today as well. Right before I started this live stream, I think Simon was outside and he walked in. He goes, "Hey, what's up?" And I was saying, I think I'm gonna do a live stream. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm doing one at 2:30 or 3 o'clock as well." So he went upstairs. I think they're doing theirs up in a room. They do it a little bit more extreme, but transparency, mindless Marty. Transparency is very important. Very cheap date money, treacherous. Oh man, I love that. But treacherous, this is right. Treacherous, this is where you're wrong, brother. When we have a community like we have, and I'm gonna tell you, Two Otaku is a big part of this too, and so is Eric, and gosh, I don't want to miss anybody. Keith, a lot of people. When you have a community, and and I look at all the super chats now, there's 10,000 yen of super chats, which is almost like $75. Okay, now YouTube takes a percentage of that. It's like $70. Okay. That's a collection of everybody. So when you give a little bit, that's part of the communities on the whole. So you're part of the community, basically. That's the way I see it. So the reason why I called out Two Otaku and Eric Holleran and a lot of other people, and Britta and in Germany, I had Gretchen Brown, who's probably watching right now. So shout out to Gretchen. Gretchen Brown is, well, she could be healthier. She needs a new kidney. She could be healthier. She could be happier, but she seems really happy. I got a message from Gretchen, so she seems pretty happy. I'm talking straight to Gretchen right now through the camera from Seoul, Korea. But in Patreon, we really have a special community in Patreon. I gave Gretchen's address, and I asked people on Patreon, really good people, if they had some time and they had some resources, if they would send Gretchen like a postcard, or send Gretchen some encouragement, or send Gretchen a letter. And if you wanted to, you could send Gretchen something, if you want to. And Gretchen got a lot of responses. And it's not just one person who wrote a letter. It's not just two people that wrote a letter. It was an entire community that wrote to Gretchen. I don't know how many packages or how many things that she received. I do know that she received an okapi from somebody, and that somebody knows who that somebody is. So, she received a lot of really amazing stuff. And that, to me, is an example of how this community comes together, not just to help me. I see this as something where we kind of help each other. And that was the perfect example of what we do. And Gretchen, in response, was very thankful for. Here's a super chat for the warrior, for Gretchen. Hey, Gretchen. That was a situation where the community came together and did something really, really nice for somebody who really needed to have something nice happen to her. And the timing, I think, was good, because she was at the Mayo Clinic undergoing procedures to get machines and things. Ugh, I don't even know what was happening, but that's why I call her warrior, and she calls her okapi animal. Then I believe it's called warrior. And when we write her, we call it #warrior. Sometimes she'll write about her bad days, and I don't know how to respond sometimes, so I just write #warrior. Try it. Because every day you have to be a warrior, and things don't always go your way, and things are tough. You can't complain. And actually, Gretchen really can't complain, because, you just do it, right? A warrior doesn't complain, they just do it. They do what they gotta do, and that's what Gretchen does, and she fights every day, and that's what inspires me. That inspires a lot of people. And when the community came together to give Gretchen all that love, I think someone sent her a picture that said love. That's hanging on her wall, right? That was, to me, when I saw that, and I might have a picture of some of this stuff, and I saw that, it made me feel really good. Not because I know all of you that are watching, or if you do feel a part of that community, then that's why I continue to do this Only in Japan Go channel, because for me, this is the way I connect with you. I can't really do that on the main channel. You can write me messages and feedback, but through these live streams, I can really connect with you, okay? I can see what you're writing right now. Let me see if I can show you some of the pictures. I remember the first picture that I received from her when the gift started coming in, it was really inspiring to me, that we as a community could do something like this, and that made me think about a lot of stuff. And one of the speakers here at the YouTube Summit had talked about how like everything is a conversation, right? So when we get a chance to do talks like this, everything is about a conversation. I can't hear you, but I get a feeling of how you guys feel by the chats here. Oh, Gretchen just wrote in. So she's eating popcorn and sea snacks with sea salt. But I'm more interested in the pictures, Gretchen, from a while ago. I see. I gotta go back a long way. Eat healthy, Gretchen. Eat healthy. All right, here we go. So just hold on for one more second. I think it was like a month ago that we did this. Wow. I can't believe that tomorrow's the last day here, and I'm on my way back to. And I sent Gretchen postcards. This is the one from the square watermelon. Oh, here they are. I know she's gonna kill me for showing it. Okay, so there's the love picture on the wall, inner wall, and let's see it here. Where's the okapi? Gretchen, these are scary when you have the mask on. And here's one with okapi that was sent from the community. I don't know, with the mask on, it's a little scarier. I think it's better when you have no mask. That's a nice picture. So for me, I was really happy with the community. I was happy for Gretchen. I was happy. It just made people happy, you know. All right, I'm not gonna talk too much more about that. I'm gonna move on to other stuff that we learned. I did learn that YouTube does care. What happened to the screen? All right, in 5 seconds or less, I tripped at a construction site that was marked poorly, and it wasn't my fault. But I didn't want to sue anybody, so I just let it go, and I don't worry about it, and I'll just buy a new phone later. That's all. I know that, so I opened it up saying that YouTube really values us as creators, but I want to also end by just saying, like, YouTube really does care enough to, if they hold these summits, and they don't have to, they really want feedback from people. And I think I go orientation for school in 6 hours, no sleep. Bloody Bricks, you could totally go to sleep and watch this on playback. I'm sorry, I don't want to keep anybody up longer, Mr. Bricks. But I was just really impressed with how they really need more feedback. And for a company, and they get all of this analytics, and they get the data, or however you pronounce it. They get all this information, and for a lot of companies, that would seem like enough. But I was really impressed with how they listened to a lot of the other creators. I could have said more, but we always are running out of time. It's just never enough time. I didn't get a chance to do any one-on-ones with anybody, but I was just impressed with how they did listen to everybody else, and how they're always looking for ways to solve the bugs and the problems, but more importantly, how they're always interested in evolving the platform. I think it was one of the executives said that they're not really trying to compete with everybody. I mean, of course, everything is I meant got not go. Oh, okay. I got it, Mr. Briggs. Avery writes in, get some North Korean blueberry wine from Pyongyang. How do you get that? It's not far from Seoul, and you can book a bus tour. Good to go up to the DMZ. I've been there before. I went there like 18 years ago when it was actually scarier. But I don't think I'm gonna have a chance to on this trip. The reason why is because there's a typhoon coming, and there's a storm coming to Korea, and I don't want to leave on a trip like that and not know if I can make it back, because my flight's quite early tomorrow. Yeah. But just to go back to this, they really did care, and the executive told me, he told us in a group, so they're not really they see the competition. They're not really affected by it, or they don't make decisions based on it, but they do see how the trends are going, and they initiate things for us that might be useful tools that are similar to what the competitors do. I think I don't have it for some reason. A lot of creators did too have it here, but YouTube creators have now, in Instagram we have stories, and I use stories all the time. That's how I promote that I have a new YouTube video that's coming up. I said, swipe up, we got a video. And some of you might be watching because I said, swipe up, we're gonna do a video. And YouTube is also gonna be doing stories, and I don't have that option yet, which is weird, okay? So a lot of these things just take time to roll out to everybody. I mean, I don't think I'm that important on the, see right here where it says live, video, live, and post, there's going to be a fourth one that says stories on there. And I thought that was pretty interesting, and they said they're going to roll it out to everybody. And I would love to see that because I like stories. Patreon has one for stories, but the user interface on it and the speed is so slow and so boring. I can't use the Patreon stories, and a lot of the people on Patreon are using Instagram anyways. I gotta find ways to add more value to Patreon as well as YouTube, and stories is one of the things that they're doing to add more value, so you watch more. I learned that in the community tab in Facebook, there's a place where I can send updates to you just like on a Facebook post. They call it the community. It used to be like a conversation, I believe, a discussion tab, and then it turned to a community tab for a lot of creators. And that community tab, a lot of people were worried that if you write on it, does that affect your notifications for other videos? And if you leave a link like Instagram, does that and very few people view it, does that affect why I only get like 100 likes on if I put the Instagram link, or if I don't put any link, I get thousands of likes? And the answer to that was, if you put external links in it, it might be picked up as spam mail and might not go out as much. I thought that kind of made sense, but I also think that it's something that they have to work on, because, look, I post on Instagram the YouTube videos for people to watch, right? And I think it makes sense that certain links like Instagram or Facebook, if it's posted by the creator, it's not spam, and it's a way for the community to stay strong like this. And no creator can rely on just one platform anymore. It's such a multi-platform world right now where you have to do Instagram, you have to do Facebook, you have to do Patreon to be able to create a business. You don't have to do it, but you have to be on more than one, is what I'm trying to say. Nasha brought, if you get any notifications at all. I didn't ask about it, but before I could, I had my hand up about it to ask, but somebody else had asked it, and they got an answer for it. They're trying to do it better. Two things, some of the things that I took away from their answer, I'm gonna say the positives because I always focus on that. The negatives is that I didn't really get a satisfactory answer, and not everybody has the notifications on, first of all. Second of all, I guess there's different levels of notification. If you don't watch the show often, you might not get the notification based on your user feedback to YouTube, I believe. But also, there's things that I can do. Like if I make a live stream at 2:30 or at 2 o'clock, there's going to be a lot of other creators and a lot of other videos that are being released at 2:30 and at 2 o'clock, for example. So I should try maybe doing it at 2:35. So there's more of a chance that it gets out faster when it's being used less. So I started to do that. This live stream started on a 5 and not on a 0. So little things like that might help with the notifications getting to you. If you don't get any notifications at all, make sure that you have the notifications on, that you click that bell so you get everything when it happens. But with that said, everybody who supports me on Patreon at the $1 level, just to support the show, it's like $12 a month, which is like a couple cups of coffee a year. Or actually maybe just 2 cups of coffee if you get the venti size. That will make sure that you get a notification from Patreon, because I put 99% of the advanced notices on Patreon first. Then I go to Instagram, and maybe right before, a couple minutes before, I will do a notification there. Sometimes I don't have any time to do notifications anywhere. I just gotta push live right away. But if you don't want to miss it, then yeah, Patreon is the place that I go because I can copy and paste the link there in the platform. And it's really easy. Then there's the YouTube notifications. If you have all of these on, that works really well. What I'd like, I don't know if YouTube is watching this, what I would like is to have a dedicated app for mobile live streaming. I think that the YouTube app has crammed in way too many things. It's just way too many things. There's you know, like you got stories, you got live. Maybe the app is elastic enough to just take a lot of stuff, but every time there's a change to the time space continuum, so to speak, like there's an update, the YouTube app, something goes wrong with mobile live streaming. It shouldn't do that. Because mobile live streaming is something that's just going to continue to grow, I would like to see a dedicated mobile live streaming app where we get more tools and more engineers are working on things that make this a better experience for you that's watching this. I want to be able to make a video, upload it to my phone, and then in the middle of a live stream, I want to show you something. I want to be able to push a button and push play, and I want to be able to show you live a video that I made and edited so we could share that together. They have some things that are kind of similar to that, but that are coming out. And in fact, it seems like Simon and Martina are always like beta testing everything, which is kind of cool because they don't live too far away from me, so I can ask them about some of this stuff. But I get a lot of information being here directly from the YouTube community, which is really great. So there's like lots of little things coming up, but I didn't hear anything about that. I didn't hear enough on live streaming. I didn't hear enough from people about how this will change and how they can do a better job. I can't control the signal. Meaning if I get a 720 signal, I don't know what's being broadcast. I can't see if it changes. I can't see if what you're seeing. I see what I see, and that's not good enough because I have to be able to monitor the quality of the stream. And if a stream is going Minecraft, that's what we call it when it gets all pixelated. When a stream goes Minecraft, I want to know that so I can get out of that area and find a clearer signal for you. If a stream goes Minecraft, I want to get out of a crowded area and go to a less crowded area so you can see more. But I need to know that information. I can't. Everything is done automatically. I can't see that, and I don't think it's a hard thing to do in software. Not for. It would be a hard thing for me to do. I don't think it's a hard thing for YouTube to do, with the engineers to make a dedicated app for this that works. Because I think that the app has to be made by YouTube because there's just too much going on in the platform where third parties just don't take advantage of all of the changes. The reason why YouTube should do it is because they know all the changes are happening, like memberships, like super chats in Singapore, like, you know, like things like this. Like, but if the dedicated app is just for mobile live streaming, then we fix things like flipping it, I think. Maybe you can't do it because there are too many things happening on this app that I'm streaming from that they can't. That's why everything has to be backwards. Like, why is everything backwards? Why can I only use this mic and not the back mic? You know, but I used to be able to use the back mic. The audio quality on the mobile live streaming app right here, right now, this app, is worse than 6 months ago, and I don't know why. Why does that happen? You know, I don't get any information on that. And hopefully in the future, like what I think is that the follow-up to the summit is even more important than the summit itself. I got a chance to meet some really amazing people, and I'm going to leave you with this because we've been live streaming for 53 minutes. I got a chance to meet some really amazing people over the course of the last 3-4 days, and the follow-up to the summit is going to be even more important than the summit because in this time that we have together, it's just so short that you really can't get to know people too well, and you can't get a lot of the answers. You can't get everything that you're looking for. We'd have to live together and be roommates to do that, and even then, probably I need a good 2 weeks. But if you make the connections and you do follow-up and you get it, then you can get a lot of the answers that you're looking for as it evolves over time. And the second thing is I want people to know that I really care about my channel. I want YouTube to know that I really care about my channel, and I want to keep in touch with them, and I want to know when things change, what I can do to make it a better experience for all of you. And that's what I took away from the YouTube Creative Summit, and a lot of food. I gotta tell you something. We ate a massive amount of Korean barbecue yesterday. It just kept coming and coming, and I was full, and it kept coming, and you can't stop. Whatever they put on the grill, you just gotta keep eating it. And then there were other YouTubers that were coming over, and they would give you this really strong soju, I believe it's called, just like this ridiculously strong booze. All right, it tastes awful, and they put it in my glass, and I didn't want it, but they kept putting it in. They filled it, and it was to the top. Sometimes they wouldn't fill it to the top. I think it's because they took my glass away, or they felt bad for me, maybe. But you have to drink it like this, like all of it, and then you have to go like this, and then like shake out everything so nothing comes out. I guess so your head gets wet if anything comes out, and that's bad. But everyone would, then they go like this, and then they put it down, and then they drink more, and everyone was drunk. But I didn't want to. I didn't drink as much as everybody. I kind of found a way. See, whenever you want to not drink, you just say that you're driving. Nobody believes it, right? But you just say, "Oh, I'm driving," and that's a pretty good excuse. It means you're a responsible person. But after you've had like 3 or 4 drinks, you can't then just say you're driving, because that defeats the point. You have to come up with a better excuse than that. And I got nothing at that point. Outside of these talks, and outside of having the author of Crazy Rich Asians come and speak to us, outside of having really successful creators tell us some of their techniques, some of the things that they learned, and some of the things that they're doing to become successful, we had a lot of social events, and they put us on buses to take us all to the Korean restaurant, which I thought was really fun. It was like a field trip. They're taking us tonight in buses to go someplace to do something. I'm not really sure. I think Simon knows more about that. I think they're still live streaming. So I'm impressed, and I think it's great that we all get a chance. A lot of people have left because the typhoon is coming. Sorry to keep you on one angle. I'm always trying to move the camera around because there's a typhoon coming. You can see the wind is starting to pick up outside of the hotel here. Yeah. Yeah, and do click that like button if you want me to keep going. I'm into an hour right now. I will keep going if we get to 250 likes, but I was gonna stop it in 3 minutes. I don't know why anyone would dislike it. That's another thing. We had one really amazing speaker named Blair, who is studying specifically on the stress that YouTube creators have, and it's mostly. Stress is something that you do to yourself, and this isn't something he said. This is something I say. Stress is something that you do to yourself that comes to you, and he was talking about like adrenaline rush, and when somebody puts maybe writes a troll or a hater comment down there, and on how you react to that, and if you flick your face, sometimes you can't feel it, and that's because you have an adrenaline rush, and how to deal with that, controlled breathing and things like that. I thought it was pretty useful. I don't really have a lot of stress. After I got a little bit older, I kind of learned to cope with things like this. But if you are a YouTuber, and this is something that, all right, this is transparency, okay? This is when I just tell you how I feel and what's on my mind and like this. When people, and it's happened to me here in Korea, when I walk down the street and people turn and go, "Oh, you're that guy, you're on YouTube, you're only in Japan, you're John." It makes me feel so happy, and I see everybody who watches this show as my friend, and that's how I treat like when people say hi to me, and that's why I say, please, if you see me, say hi, stop me, take a picture, anything that you want. It's awesome because like you're part of a community when you're watching this, and that's important to me. But it was so unexpected. So unexpected. When you put yourself out there on a YouTube channel, nobody expects to be popular. And if you do, then you're probably doing it wrong. Because you never make content for you. You make content for the viewer. You never make content for yourself, per se. I mean, you want to make sure that it's good stuff, but it's for them to watch. It's for viewers to watch. So when the channel became successful and people recognized me because on the streets in Tokyo, because the people watching my show were coming to Japan, it was weird. my wife says that it makes my wife happy. She goes, "Oh, people really like you," and I go, "Yeah," but it's a lot to take, and for people who aren't used to it, and I'm really not used to it. That's why I kind of just treat it like friends, right? I mean, how would you do it? I want you to, you're on the street and somebody sees you and say, "Hey, you're Nosh," right? And Nosh should be like, "Hey, yes, I am. Nice to meet you," right? I think the best thing to do is not to run away or not to be embarrassed or not to look into it. Just kind of say, you guys that are watching this, you really know me, right? And I'm learning more about you every time that you watch these shows and you write on the chats, and I call the police on that. Like the VFL83 right said, "I'll call the police on that." That's hilarious. Well, look, to me, it's the ultimate compliment when someone stops you on the street and says that I love what you do. Keep it up. It's the ultimate compliment to a creator. It's the ultimate compliment when someone stops and takes the time to say hello or writes to you on a chat. You guys don't have to write anything in the chat. You can just watch. But when you write and you leave a comment and maybe I don't see it, it's still is the ultimate to see that you guys care enough to chat in right now. I will say John Boy. Okay. I can see what you guys are writing right now. And this is really important. Did you dye your hair? I did. Just a little bit of I did it for the Asian Spelling Cup just because and yeah, there's no reason to not do it. Looks great, right? It's Queen of Tacos. I like that name. Dude, why? Look, you don't need a reason to do stuff. People are people, they just do stuff. You don't have to even like it. The person who does the stuff has to like it. And to be honest with you, I didn't care whether I had gray hair or black hair. I'm pretty happy either way. But I like to change things up. I'm gonna be honest with you. Some days I like the gray, some days I don't really care. Some days, it would be nice if it wasn't gray. It'd be nice if there was more hair. There's a lot of stuff. So you change things up all the time. I'm not gonna do things the way other people want to do it. I do things that make me happy and change it up for me and make me feel, I just wanted to do it, okay? And if I lose all my hair, I don't care. That's okay with me. It's all about being happy, So you do what makes you happy, and not really listen to and if people hate on you for doing that, then hey, that's your opinion. But I don't really let any of that affect me. So yeah, Percy Scott knows that Kanai wants 5 kids too. I want to have no hair, and what I have is going to be really white when I have 5 kids. So I'm just telling you right now, from other parents that I've been meeting here, it's a lot of fun, but it's also a lot of work. And if you're a parent and you're watching this, I don't have to tell you anything. Okay? If you're a parent and you're watching this, and I know there's a lot of parents out there that are watching this, I don't have to tell you what it's like to be a parent. You're tired. So, you look like Peter, no hair. Right? So, hey, Peter he's proud of his Kojak look. He's cool. I think that's great. My mom saw you were talking about doing a video on Amezaiku. She's been asking for when it will be up. Thanks for asking about that. Because I'm here, I'm trying to edit, but I really don't have a lot of time at night to edit, because the best thing I can do is when I get really sleepy, I go to sleep. And I try to sleep as long as I can, so I am rested up enough to be able to listen effectively, because it's important for me to take as much as I can away from this. The video can wait a day or two. As soon as I get back, I'm gonna go right back into editing that video, and it'll be up within the next few days. All right, all the scenes are finished filming, so it's just about putting it together and then adding the narration and making a story about it. I stress out John too much. That's why he's great, right? And Gretchen Brown. Gretchen, you don't stress me out, but when you call for me to drink a Monster, slightly stressful, slightly, because sometimes it's 2 a.m. and a Monster would totally destroy me, and I get a little bit worried about that. And I worry because you should not be drinking Monster, okay? Just drink water. There's other drinks that give you. And I'm a naturally peppy person. You put more coffee in me, big problem. For you, not for me. Yeah. And I want to thank everybody who sent me coffee, by the way. I got so much coffee from Germany, from Hawaii, from so many places around the world, from California, I believe. So thank you for that. Rick remembers the Toby thing. Yeah, Toby, man. I haven't heard from him. I sent him a message, and I haven't heard from Toby in a while. He's off the grid. I was hoping that he would visit. Oh, okay, so I get some super chats in here I might have missed. Purple Bandit 79 writes in, I never been this socially engaged online ever. I don't count Facebook because those are IRL people I've met. Right. You've built a great community and you have an awesome following, and I'm glad to be part of it. Thank you, Purple Bandit 79. I think that's exactly right. I mean, if you're going to be a part of a community, and you have... Alright, this is stuff that my mom teaches me, alright? She said you pick your friends wisely, alright? The people that are your friends, the people that you spend the most time with, those are the people that are going to influence the kind of person you're going to be. And this is important for kids that are watching. You don't have to listen to your parents on this. You can listen to me. I know. And they know, actually. Most of them know. Maybe Gretchen's parents might not know. Well, they know. They're nice people. The people that you hang out with and the people that you spend your time with will impact the kind of person that you're going to be. I have been very, very lucky in my life to be surrounded by people who really care about other people. I've been surrounded by people in high school that were the smartest people in the class because I didn't care what the names they called me. I was not a really smart person in high school, but I hung out with people that were geniuses. They all went to Ivy League schools. Except for me. I went to the greatest school, Ohio State University. But I hung out with smart people, and that impacted me, a man of average intelligence. You guys make the judge on that. I'm just going to say. I'm going to stay humble, okay? But I'm nowhere near the intelligence level of my friends in high school who are doing great things. One of them is Tom, who you met in the wedding video. Extremely intelligent guy. Very shy. Very smart. Like, he is a genius. Not on girls, though, but on everything else. So, the people you hang out with make a big impact. I'm right now hanging out with some of the most successful YouTubers in the Asia Pacific region, and that's a really good thing. I'm hanging out with my friends who, Simon and Martina, who are just amazing individuals that love people. They have their own community, okay? And I have my community, who some of you might be in their community, and maybe vice versa, I don't know. But when you hang out with really good people like that, that really affects who you are as a person. And I hope that when you hang out in this community, that you feel the same way, that we're a community of really good people doing good things, learning about Japan in a good way, in a positive way, and that rubs off on the stuff that you do every day as well. That's my hope. And that's what I aim for when I build a community. Let's see any other questions before I end this, because we got the 250 likes. This is the extended time, everybody. Yeah, I know Kibbles, Simon and Martina are live as well. Yeah, I think they're eating something because I was listening and I don't know what they're streaming, but I know I was listening in. I think they ordered food or something unique. In fact, you might want to go and watch their live stream. I'm a huge supporter of what they do. They're really amazing. They worked really, really hard to be where they are, and I've learned a lot of stuff from them. They are like my senpai in many ways. I might be older, and I know a lot of other stuff. I do. I promise I do. I know a lot of stuff about Japan, but they know a lot of stuff about YouTube and about making community and about bringing people together, and I learned from them. And they're really, really my mentors in that world. In the background, what are those really tall bar stools? I can show you. I like this area that they've set up for people to sit, and then this is a cafe. These are just really tall bar stools. I don't know, and this is a place where people can order croissants. You can just go up there and, I mean, seriously. Hold on a second. I'm going to show you. You guys asked for it, so I'm going to show you. Literally, you can just look how good they are, right? Yeah. So they're huge and they're really good. I don't know how much they cost because they're free here, but that's really made it a pretty incredible experience. The croissant. I love the croissants. I've been eating way too many croissants. And if Kanai's watching, yeah, my Totoro is way bigger now than before. You could blame the croissant lady back there. Yeah, so I support my friends, and I really don't have anything else to say about that. Any other questions? Unboxing the croissant. I have it right here. All right, I'll do it for you. This is like, we're way over time. All right, hold on a second. I'm going down. Check it out. Here we go. It's been sitting here for a while. I wish it was a hot one. Here we go. Oh man, that's so gratifying. You are now watching the Destruction of Croissant channel. Ah, look at that. That's so... It's so chewy. Okay, here we go. Here we go. I just took the best part, right in the center. It's so good. I've never been to San Francisco. I don't know if I'm ever going to go to San Francisco. I know a lot of people that are watching are from San Francisco, that area. I can tell you, you got some pretty darn good croissants. All right, that might be a reason to go to San Francisco. Yeah. Oh, Santa Cruz. Okay, I'm not sure. See here. Any college advice? Road Jack is asking for college advice. Wait until you're 21. I don't know. All right, I'll give you some college advice. All right. Whenever you are in a big lecture hall, and I don't know which university you're going to, always sit in the front. Always sit in the front. Especially in your freshman year, you're gonna have classes, at least I did at Ohio State. I had classes with over 500 students in one hall. When you have a class with over 500 students in one hall, sit in the front and get to know your instructor. Get to know the professor, and never waste an opportunity to introduce yourself and make sure that the professor knows that you are there in the hall. If I'm a professor and I see a hall full of students, I know that I'm not going to know everybody's name. It's just really impossible. And I know that the majority of the students never go into what's called office hours. Are you listening? Office hours are hours designated with an open door for that student, for that class to go in and talk to the professor. And you may think by going in you're wasting their time. What you're doing is ensuring that the professor knows that you actually care about the subject material. So even if it's an answer, even if it's a question to something that you already know the answer to, just go in there and try to make, and this is something that all college students should learn, because this is the first time you are actually an adult doing something that you know your parents are not forcing you to do. It's up to you to make those really strong connections with your professor, with your teachers, with your classmates, and the adult-like relationships that you make with your professor are going to really ultimately lead to the way you make relationships with the people that you work with, whether it's a client, whether it's your boss, whether it's the next job that you have an interview with. You're going to want to have to make these kinds of connections, and talking to your professor is your practice into becoming an adult and getting into that world, because you don't have to do it. You don't have to go into those office hours. You cannot do it, and you probably can get an A. But if the professor knows you, what the professor is going to do is give you advice. The professor's going to sometimes hint. This is why I went. I got hints on the questions that the professor will ask in the test. In fact, if I was the only one that had visited during the office hours, he often guided me in exactly what I needed to study. And in the end, it saved me time by going in and see the professor. I had to study, I could study more on other topics because I knew the topic that I was going to study by talking about the topic with the professor. So I had more time to do more things. So in my 5th year of university, I added on another major. And this is something else that you might want to consider. If you're paying tuition, and tuition in the United States is extremely expensive. If you're paying tuition, see if you can do more than one major. See if you can get, or you can do grad school, but you got to pay more for that. I have 2 degrees. I have a bachelor's in English literature, which I did because I just love reading books and communicating and voicing my opinion. And I have a bachelor's degree in economics, which I thought was another way to think. The English, to me, English literature like massage this side of my brain, and economics massage this side of my brain. So I have 2 degrees. Now they're not masters, they're 2 bachelors, but I paid the same price for 2 because I could take more classes. The way it worked out was I could leave the university with 2 degrees for the same amount of money if I just worked a little bit harder. And I said, well, if it costs the same, I just have to utilize the economics of time to make sure that I can and the busier I was, and this is the last piece of advice for you, the busier that I was, the better, the more focused I was in my studies. When I took the minimum required hours in my first year, I was a bad student. I was like a C student 2.0. And I was also quite nervous being on my own in another state. The second year, when I started to add on more than getting close to the maximum amount of credits that I could take per semester, per quarter, I became so focused because I had to schedule everything like an adult had to do it, and I left there with 2 degrees. A BS in biology and a BS in nursing. There you go, LG. You make the most of out of the time that you have. Because when you get to 44, you don't got as much time left as you used to. It's true. And have fun. Yeah, Jim has it. And you have a lot more fun when things are going right, and you have a lot more fun when you're organized. If you're unorganized, things go badly. If you're organized, you have a lot more fun because you know when you have that time to do it, and things work out better. Like the center of a croissant, which is just so smooth and buttery. Look at that, so stretchy and buttery. I gotta go, guys. 44, not halfway yet. Jays writes in that I'm not halfway. If I go to live in Totori, like the woman that I interviewed, who's 106 years old, yeah, I still got some time. I got like half a century. So I'm planning for that. I'm eating croissants and drinking copious amounts of coffee. I'm gonna live forever. So, yeah, Totori is one of the most natural areas of Japan. It's like on the Sea of Japan side, or as they say in Korea, the East Sea side. I don't even want to go into that political debate. But the secret to living a long life is just being happy and not doing more than you can do. Oh, what? That's it. What is it? The one thing that Blair did say that I thought was really important is that these days, and I think he's a YouTube creator, but he's also getting a doctorate in psychology, which is amazing. One of the things that he said was our brains are not made to live in the world that we live in. They're like made for really simple stuff from like thousands of years ago, right? We still got the same brains, and we're packing it full of so many things that is really too much for us. So you know what? Find ways to streamline things, cut out things that you don't need in your life. I always say, cut out the people that are cancerous to you, cut out the people that don't need to be in your lives, and hold on to the people that do. And make sure that everything is scheduled and that you do things as focused as possible, and you live less stress-free, and it's easier for you to manage inside of your brain, and you're happier. And I think happiness is why these people are living to 106, because she seemed pretty happy. She was cracking jokes and staying busy. Yeah. there you go. I'm going to do a live stream tomorrow for everybody on Patreon, a special live stream to answer some questions in a smaller group. That'll be before I leave to go back to Japan. I believe I can do that. If not, I'm going to do the live stream back in Japan because I don't know what time I have to leave to the airport to get there in time. I think I got to be at the airport at 8 a.m. So I'm not sure what time. There's my flight at 8 a.m. I'm not sure yet. So we're gonna decide that on Patreon. But I'm gonna do another live stream on Patreon tomorrow, and I might do another live stream today, depending on how things go with the ending of the Creator Summit. But I do have to say that this has been an incredible experience, and I'm so honored to be invited here because I don't have the same amount of subscribers as everybody else, but I think I took away a lot more than other people. I think I did. I was awake for the entire sessions, basically on croissants and coffee. It's free. I mean, you would take it too, right? It's no brainer. Korean martial art. I'm trying to look for other questions here. I think I hit all of your questions that for people who gave me super chats, right? I always try to make sure. Gretchen wrote about the stress. Let me see here. Ellis wrote in, John is an amazing guy on and off the screen. I still feel a bit starstruck every time I talk to him. No, Ellis, you and David are really special to me because you're the first people who met Kanai in New York. I didn't even show Kanai off at the meetup. It was you guys, so I'm always gonna remember you guys. So don't get starstruck. You know, we're like friends. Yeah, Bloody Bricks, good night. Mr. Bricks is out of here. Tom Higgins, thanks to John, my kids talked me into getting a taiyaki pan. Whoa, you got some smart kids. First batch came out great. Thanks for expanding our cooking fun. Taiyaki, I'm gonna do a live stream on taiyaki when I go back because I just love them. Taiyaki is so good. I'm just gonna make it on taiyaki. So let's do that when we get back. I'll see if Kanai will go in on this one. Christine wrote in, hi, hope you're having fun. I am, Christine, thank you very much. Really enjoying it. And thanks to Bloody Bricks, who's always giving me fuel with the 199 chats. I thank you. And Gretchen. I am happy that Gretchen's watching today. I don't have a lot of time to respond to everything that she writes in. In fact, I don't have a lot of time to respond to everybody's messages. So I want to say thank you for all of them. I read them, and I appreciate you taking the time to write to me. And I will do more meetups. I'll try to do one meetup a month in Tokyo if I can, just to say hi. I can't really put a lot of energy into planning them, but I'll do my best to make it like a fun experience. So there's that. And I can always use help. In Singapore, I had people helping me, which really was helpful. Shane writes in aloha from Hawaii. Aloha. Yeah, so that's it. I see people are walking around with umbrellas now. I know that the typhoon is on its way. This is downtown Korea. This is the Hongdae region. So thank you, everybody. I'm gonna walk around a little bit outside. I'm gonna pack up. I gotta make some phone calls. I gotta still prepare some trips for Japan. Gretchen, I have a special Instagram. Okay, thank you, Gretchen. Look at that. Thank you, Gretchen. And yeah, I might be back on a live stream here in Korea, and I might be the next one you might see probably in Japan. All right. Hawaii is under hurricane watch. Whoa. Actually, yeah, it's a typhoon watch, I think. Stay safe wherever you are. I know that there's fires going on in California. We got a typhoon here in Korea. You know, the world is a crazy place, but we're doing our best to have fun there. So, see you guys, everybody. Last 20 seconds. Pointed outside to enjoy the beautiful world that is Seoul, Korea. I'm going to be walking around a couple of minutes anyways. Bye, guys.